Well, today, tech giant Microsoft announced construction is completed on its first data center in Mount Pleasant, and the facility is now fully operational. It is the first hyperscale data center in the state to be up and running. So that means Wisconsin resources like water and energy are now powering the new data center boom. Adam Reif focuses on water usage in the latest installment of our ongoing series on data centers. And Adam, what did you find?
Well, Natalie, this development is keeping a spotlight on the resources. Data centers consume tens of thousands of gallons of water are needed each day to cool the data centers on site. But the analysts say there's an even bigger impact off site.
You need a lot of cooling water, so the more power you're producing, the more energy you're using at the power plant.
Data centers generate an enormous amount of heat as they compute 24/7, and that heat needs to be removed. The cooling systems pass cold water across the equipment to keep the temperature down. And there are generally two types of cooling systems for data centers. Open-loop systems require a steady supply of fresh water coming in, cycling through, then going out. They use a lot of water, anywhere from 1 to 5 million gallons a day, according to some estimates. Closed-loop systems have a finite amount of water cycling through. They don't require as much water, but they do need a lot of energy to keep the recycled water cool. We asked David Strifling, the director of Marquette's Water Law and Policy Initiative, if he's concerned about having enough water for data centers.
I think it's certainly a concern, and you don't think of Wisconsin as a water-needy state because we have the Great Lakes, of course, right on our boundary.
But only a fraction of the state falls within the Great Lakes Basin.
Most of Wisconsin is outside the Great Lakes Basin, so certainly in those communities, there are water-stressed areas.
Most data centers will not draw directly from Lake Michigan. Instead, they'll plug into the municipal systems. Those are what draw from the lake.
Our water utilities, our municipal utilities, are required to serve. So they can't say, no, we're not going to give you water.
Using that middleman system means the data centers don't have to follow certain reporting rules.
That also makes it difficult to get a handle on exactly how much water they are using because they don't, those cities don't have to report and typically don't track, in many cases, how much water each one of their customers are using.
Developers of the Port Washington data center maintain its closed-loop cooling system will use only 22,000 gallons of water on a peak day. That's the amount of water in a typical backyard swimming pool, what the city says amounts to less than 2% of daily water usage in Port Washington. But environmentalists caution there's a big difference between water usage that is on-site versus off-site.
The water that's being used just at that municipal level is not a true reflection of the impact of that data center on our water systems.
Power plants also require a lot of cooling water independent of data centers. And with more generation stations planned to meet the data center demand, more water is needed to cool them.
We live in an uncertain climate future. We don't know what's around the corner. We don't know when the next long-term drought is going to be.
Policy analysts are urging moderation and a methodical approach.
Are you confident we can get this right?
Well, it's a difficult problem. There's no doubt about that.
Now let's talk briefly about that newly completed Mount Pleasant data center for a moment. It took 2 years to build this facility, and the president of the Microsoft Corporation said in a release that Wisconsin is now home to the world's most powerful supercomputer. The company says nearly 550 people are currently working full-time at that completed facility, and they are hiring for more people. And this project only the first at that site in Mount Pleasant. While this data center is up and running right now, right next door, foundations are being poured and steel is going up for the second phase of the construction project. That second data center expected to be of a similar size and scale. When it's finished, Natalie, it should be online in 2028. So the buildings keep going up and this industry keeps growing.
Well, some interesting information because people surely are concerned about the use of resources, water and energy. So a good look at them. Thank you.